ready to spend the day just hardcore crocheting. I've recently moved house and realised I've got way too much yarn and just not enough storage space for it. So I'm officially putting myself on a yarn ban. I can't justify buying more storage just to put my yarn in. So today marks the start of me trying to bust through my stash. There's a lot to get through, but I'm hoping that this keeps me accountable. I'm thinking this is going to be a week-long video, so let's see how much I can get done in the next week. The projects that I'm hoping to complete in the next week are things like home decor items, so like maybe a plant hanger. I don't think I'll start a blanket. I have got a 6-day star blanket here, which is definitely achievable over the next week, but I just don't really need another one. Also, it'd be great if I could get something like a cardigan finished. Usually, for me personally, they can work up quite fast, so we will see what we can get done. I have some of these chunky granny squares that I was putting together a couple weeks ago. I think I've got about 8 of them at the minute, so I might start to work these into a chunky cardigan. I think I'm going to need 16 squares in total, so I'm really hoping I have enough yarn. If not, I've got 8 of these ones and I'll just do 8 of another colour and it can be a nice even split between the two. I'm not too sure how big I'm going to make them, but let's just get started. Whether I'm going to make it any bigger. Obviously when I steam it, it'll stretch out even more. If I do want it a little bit bigger, I might just add like a single crochet border along the edges as I'm sewing it together. I typically do like to do the join as you go method when I'm making granny stitch cardigans, so we'll see. I've gone with the join as you go approach and I think this will fit absolutely fine. This is going to be the front panel, so I'm going to do 2 more squares for this side, 4 across the back, and then I'm going to do another 4 for each arm. So that is 4, 5, 4, 8, 12.
A few moments later.
So that's 14 more squares that I need to make, and I'll probably weave in my ends sporadically. I usually just like to leave it until the very end to do it because I find it more satisfying that way, and I just like to get a project done before I weave them in because I'm quite impatient. But yeah, I think though it's gonna look pretty good, and I think I might do either a burgundy lining and bows to tie it up with, or I might do maybe like this pinky shade here. I really like that shade, but we'll see. It's Monday night, I've just finished work. It's like just gone 6 o'clock and I really didn't get as much done yesterday I was hoping to get done. I have the front 2 panels pretty much done of the cardigan, minus weaving the ends, and then I literally just have like this one other granny square that I started as well. The day honestly just slipped away. But I'm hoping to get at least, fingers crossed, like 3 hours worth of crochet done tonight, and I'm hoping that by then I'll also have the back panel done so that we'll have somewhat of a waistcoat finished by the end of the night. It's now Tuesday and I managed to get the entire body of the cardigan done last night. It is a little bit more snug than I was expecting it to be, but obviously it still does need steaming, so fingers crossed it grows into more of like a slouchy fit. Decided to go with the mustard trim as well. I was originally either going to do burgundy or one of the darker pink shades, but I had this in the basket with the yarns as well and just noticed that it looked really nice against them. I do need to put the cardigan on pause today because I've got bonnet and also a shrug to make for a couple of vintage orders that have come through, so it'll be nice to have a little bit of a change up as we head into the middle of the week. This is the colour palette of the bonnet. So these are all Yarnsmiths yarns. We've got a chunky one here, and then these two are just standard double knit, which I'll double strand and use a 5mm hook again. So it's the next morning and I have my granny squares done for the bonnet. This is how I sew them together. So I do 3 in a row, and then this one goes on the top and you kind of attach these sides to it as well, so it makes the bonnet shape. I like to use a mattress stitch to sew them together, so I just flip them so you've got the wrong sides facing outwards, and then I just go into the back of each stitch on each side, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm not really good at explaining how I do stuff, but of course there are loads of tutorials on this kind of stuff on YouTube and TikTok. I've just attached the first 2 together. It's looking super nice and neat. Instead of adding the 3rd one on the side, just to prevent having to cut off this thread, I'm just going to do the top one. All that is left for me to do on sewing it together is attaching these corners together to make the bonnet shape. I know that's like looks absolutely terrible and you can't really see. Okay, so the shape of the bonnet is now done. Basically what I do is just 2 rounds of single crochet around kind of the face framed bit, and then I do a ribbing along the bottom. Finished my single crochet border. Obviously I'll steam this because it's looking a little wonky at the minute. I'm gonna move on to the ribbing along the bottom now. So for this I do chain 6, and then I just single crochet in all of the back loops along, just so it makes kind of like that faux knit rib. Jovi's taken this spot now, but I'm too lazy to move my camera. But this is what the ribbing looks like once you start. I feel like this doesn't do it justice on camera. It's now Saturday and I realise it probably looks like no time has passed whatsoever because I'm in the exact same top. I think I last spoke on this video on Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm not entirely sure, but honestly the week has just ended up being so chaotic and I've had no time to sit down and crochet at all. I have, however, as you would have seen, got the bonnet done, and now my plans for the rest of the day are just to finish this cardigan and hopefully weave in the ends so that I can show it off tomorrow. It's just after 1 o'clock, I've put on Gilmore Girls and I'm ready to lock in and get this cardigan complete. 6:30 and I was crocheting my last 8 squares for the cardigan until about 4, and then I had a nap and then just procrastinated a little bit when I woke up. But once again, I'm gonna lock in and we are gonna finish this. Well, it's now Sunday morning and I'm in bed because I have tonsillitis. I got it last night and I just did not have the energy to finish this. I don't know if you can tell, but the creams that I've been using are 2 different colours. I swear that I had an extra skein of yarn with the original cream that I was using, but I can't find it anywhere, so I've just been searching for scraps in my collection. But I have done 1 sleeve so far and I have just got the other one to do. Hopefully I'll get it finished today and it'll be an exact week of crochet, but we'll see. The fact that I'm scrambling through bags to find some cream yarn is a really good excuse to finally frog some projects. I swear these are probably 2, at a push, 3 years old, which is absolutely ridiculous, but we're finally frogging them for the sake of this cardigan. I'm just doing this sleeve now and I'm really deeping, like, do I do a scalloped edge along the sleeves and the bottom of the cardigan? I really do not know. I might just give it a go for this. So I'm probably thinking maybe no, because obviously this is quite a chunky yarn. I don't know. I think I'm going to take it off and just do a standard single crochet edge. It's now Sunday afternoon and I just have 1 granny square left to attach here on this sleeve, and then a single crochet border around it. After that I'm going to chain and then slip stitch some I-cords to tie it together. I think I'm going to go with maybe just like 1 or 2, and then it is pretty much complete minus weaving in the ends and blocking it too. I've been taking cream from this, which I believe I started it a couple of years ago to be a blanket, but I just dumped it in my stash for some reason. So if you guys have any ideas of what I can do with these granny squares, then let me know, because I'm really not too sure. I'm just working on the last granny square. I could have sworn that I had made the right amount last night, but I think Jovi might have been running around with a granny square in her mouth somewhere and hidden it, because she's obsessed with yarn. Anyway, what I was saying is I could have sworn I also had another ball of this yarn, but I also can't find it. This is a sign for me to just organise all of my yarn because it's such a mess, as you would have seen earlier. But I picked up this pink and it's not an exact match, but seeing as the cardigan's only for me, it doesn't really matter too much. It's Sunday night and I have completed the cardigan minus weaving in the ends and steaming it, so it is quite small on me right now. However, I will probably steam it and weave in the ends tomorrow. I'll probably post that on my TikTok straight away. However, I will be ending the video here because we are exactly a week on from when we started. Also, apologies if you can hear my dog in the background. She's currently teething and she always has something to chew on. But yeah, I have managed to pretty much complete a cardigan in a week and also a bonnet. Considering I've had a really chaotic week, I'm really proud that I've managed to fit this much in. I feel like this video has really helped me be more accountable and get stuff done. My next task, other than the obvious, is just to continue working my way through my stash, because as you saw at the start, there's just way too much yarn that I can possibly fit into drawers. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'm Carrie, also known as Druzy Crochet, and I'll see you in my next video.